what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it.
It's not like a commitment or anything. Jahkeem Stewart, who was the number one player in 2026, the defensive end out of Edna Carr, he is officially reclassified for 2025. Now, right before the season started, he withdrew from Edna Carr and decided to enroll in St. Aug. For whatever reason, Edna Carr couldn't make it happen. They said, hey, you cannot reclassify while you're here. So He packed up and went somewhere else, and he worked it out. I got to think this probably plays in LSU's favor because everyone's saying, LSU's a top 3 to top 5 team. You got to have some sort of ideas to who your top 5 is if you want to push up your commitment and move up your enrollment date. So it's not a bad thing for LSU necessarily. I mean, they're in his top 5 to top 10. So.
Well, he's been pretty clear about who his finalists are when he announced that he's reclassifying, and it's LSU, it's Ohio State, it's Oregon, and it's USC. He went to LSU, USC, and Vegas. He's going to watch LSU host Alabama on November 9th. He's going to USC's home game against Nebraska on November 16th. And then Ohio State will get the last visit, and it will be Michigan on November 30th. Now, this is a cat who, as a sophomore, had over 20 sacks and 30 tiffles in a single season. He was the number 1 player for 2026. I don't know where they're going to rank him in 2025, but at the single biggest position of need for LSU, defensive tackle. He's from your state, in your backyard. You have Bo Davis now. Symbolically and functionally, this is about as big of a recruit as I can remember LSU needing to get. And now all of a sudden, and he said he's going to engage with the early signing period. So planning on signing in December. So all of a sudden, the entire calendar moved up for a year. I'm sure a lot of these schools obviously knew it was coming, but it's time to. I mean, you have to get this man if you're LSU. And what's interesting, his trainer, Clyde Alexander from Edge Assassins, had this to say. I mentioned the games he was going to visit, and this might make LSU fans a bit insecure. He said, quote, these games are specifically picked because they're one of the biggest games on each individual team's schedule. The big thing he wants to see is these teams compete at the highest level against the toughest opponent. And these games are very crucial to his decision. So interestingly, you have, we always talk about how recruits don't really care that much about who wins or loses. And I do think for the most part that is true. It's just interesting here. His camp basically put out there that no, for our decision-making, we are going to be watching these games very closely. And when you look, you already lost one game he was at against one of the other 4 finalists. USC against Nebraska will be interesting, but SC will have a very good chance of winning that. Ohio State will almost certainly smash Michigan. So as if it was possible, maybe. And then he's going to Oregon, Ohio State next weekend as well. Oregon's one of the finalists there. So LSU Bama on November 9th going to have even a little extra as if it needed any riding on it now. Jahkeem Stewart saying he's really watching how these teams do in their toughest games.
You have to know well ahead of time that you're going to try to finish school early. Like that's not just something that you decide to kind of do and be like, oh yeah, I want to finish early. I'm going to take a whole year of school, right? As far as credits and everything's like, so I can give you my example. I knew that I didn't want to go to school my spring semester of my senior year. So I went to summer school, T-Bob, all 3 years leading into that, took courses that I was going to take the next year so I could get ahead. And so like my senior year after football was done, I wanted to be able to kind of get ready to go to wherever I was going to go. So I could have graduated in December. That's before anybody did that, by the way. Nobody really was doing that at the time.
Yeah.
And really, I think my senior year, I had like 1 or 2 classes tops. And so like I didn't have a full schedule by any means, but I prepared to do that 3 years of summer school kind of going into that. Like this is probably something he's been thinking about and kind of, anticipating himself maybe to do, because again, you just don't decide to do that the summer before and get it done. At least unless there's something I don't know now.
So with that in mind, like I agree with you. I think that these other schools, I think the schools have known this and they've probably been recruiting him as such, kind of planning on this for a while now. And I'm sure trying to get their NIL dollars ready to roll. Here's what he said about, and he's visited LSU a ton, Jahkeem Stewart has. These are some quotes that he said about these finalists at one time or another regarding LSU. And this all comes from On3 guys. Again, not an advertisement. I pay for On3. I just think the team at Bengal Tiger does a really good job. Quote regarding LSU, quote, LSU is the state school. I love it every time I visit the campus. The fans, the food, the environment, it's home. Coach Frank is always giving me life advice outside of football, and my big bro, Sean Washington, plays there now. I like LSU, but I'm not opposed to going to school out of state. Here's what he had to say about Ohio State. Really working with Coach Johnson, Coach Clark, some great coaches. Coach Johnson's one of the best D-line coaches in college football history. Getting into the drills, he got the people that are making a lot of money in the league and going first round. It shows why he is what he is. I love Ohio State, what they have going on right now. Them recruiting the defense and offense, they're doing a great job at getting players. Regarding Oregon, Coach Lanning is a genius on defense. I first met him when he was at Georgia. I love his system. The opportunities Oregon has outside of football, the facilities, it's real peaceful in Oregon. You get to just focus on ball. Regarding USC, my favorite thing about USC is the opportunity there on the field, getting coached by the best. Coach Henney does a great job with what he does. He's got the results and resume on his coaching. Off the field, there's a lot of opportunities as well. Gavin Morris is my dog. He told me I'm a star, and he's going to turn me into a mega star off the field. They have a great marketing business class. That's what I'm going to major in college. So, I mean, you can read into all of those comments however you want. Certainly, it seems like that LA lifestyle and maybe the opportunities there play well to him. Surprising that he mentioned all the kind of defensive line coach, but did not mention Bo Davis in that specific LSU quote. I'd like to see what he said about Bo Davis in the past, but we'll see, man. This is kind of a must get in many ways, but who knows if you actually will or won't.
So it's a must get because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, it's still a position of need for you. You need to build back up that defensive line. You brought Bo Davis back to Baton Rouge for, players like this to be able to not only coach them, but to get them on campus. And also, T-Bob, we know when you have a player in Louisiana that is a 5-star player, you expect to get 100% of those. Not 95%, not 90, not 85. And again, you don't always get them, but you expect to get every top player that you want from Louisiana. It's one of LSU's greatest benefits.
Yeah, and LSU under Brian Kelly, ever since he brought back Frank Wilson, they have dominated getting Louisiana and putting the fences up around the state. And you would imagine that this could be, Frank's latest magnum opus if he can pull this off. But it's going to get expensive, Bo. I mean, look at the schools that are involved there: Ohio State, Oregon, USC. And specifically Ohio State and Oregon. USC is actually not really as much in the NIL space as I maybe would have thought they would be at this point. But Ohio State and Oregon are all in. And they going to pay. And I don't know that you're going to be able to match their number. So this is going to come down to, do you overextend yourself financially and try to match that number no matter what? Or can you somehow sell Stewart on taking less to stay home with greater benefits coming down the road? This is going to be an absolute battle. And Jake, just look at the defensive tackle market, right? Everybody needs him. Even look at Georgia. Georgia's not that good at stopping the run right now.
Yeah.
Alabama, not good at stopping the run. Everybody needs these massive D linemen. And so we'll see how this plays out. We will see. But you know when it's going to play out? By December now, which is crazy. Only a couple of months till we'll know where Jahkeem Stewart's going to end up going.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.